Dopamine is the molecule behind why we endlessly scroll, snack, and procrastinate. It's the reason you lose hours on TikTok and why that just one episode turns into an entire season. But what if you could take control of this powerful neurochemical and turn it into your greatest tool for focus and productivity? Imagine rewiring your brain so that instead of craving distractions, you actually crave doing hard things like hitting the gym, finishing that project, or working on your passion. In this video, I'll show you how to reset your brain's dopamine system so hard tasks become the most rewarding part of your day. We'll cover why quick pleasures burn out your dopamine, how to spot the activities that drain it, simple strategies to reset your system, and how to build lasting habits that make you crave doing hard things. If you're new here, I'm Nico, a management consultant passionate about growth and productivity, and today we're talking about something that I honestly think can change your life. I found myself often procrastinating and feeling low energy, and I was wondering why and how to fix that in order to live a more meaningful life. For the last couple of years, my burning desire to remediate that led me to learn about our dopamine system as well as practical steps to regain control over motivation. We live in a world that's completely saturated with quick pleasures, whether it's our phones, social media, Netflix, or junk food. And while these things feel great in the moment, they are kind of like killing our potential. We end up procrastinating on the stuff that truly matters in our lives. But here's the one thing, once you understand how your brain works, you can take control of that dopamine system and start rewiring your brain to actually want to do the challenging stuff. So if that sounds good, make sure to subscribe and give a thumbs up because this video is packed with knowledge and actionable insights to reclaim your motivation. All right, so let's start with the science behind why quick pleasures burn out your dopamine. So dopamine is a neurochemical that drives motivation and reward, making us feel pleasure and encouraging us to repeat actions that trigger its release. Our brains are wired to seek pleasure and avoid pain. That's the basic survival instinct. But we are surrounded by things that give us instant hits of pleasure, like scrolling on Instagram, binging Netflix, for example. And these things gives us a little burst of dopamine, the feel-good chemical. But when we keep hitting our brain with these quick dopamine spikes over time, we start to burn out and it becomes harder to feel motivated for the bigger, more meaningful tasks like working on that side project, exercising, or learning a new skill. So if you've wondered why you can't seem to find the motivation to do the hard stuff, it's just because your brain is used to getting rewarded without putting in much effort. And that's a big problem. So now, how do you start rewiring your brain? Well, first, we need to identify the things that are draining our dopamine levels. These are the things we all know we love, but they are the reason why you lack motivation and procrastinate. Number one, phones and social media. Our phones are the biggest drainers. Every notification, like, or scroll gives us a tiny dopamine hit, but it's so constant that our brains get hooked. Instead of focusing on meaningful work, we get stuck in a loop of checking our phones for the next burst of pleasure. Number two, fast food and sugar. These give us an immediate rush of dopamine, but that high quickly fades, leaving us craving more. Number three, other instant gratifications. There are other instant pleasures like porn, video games, or binge watching TV. These activities flood our brain with dopamine quickly, but they desensitize us, making it harder to focus or find joy in simpler, more effort-driven tasks. So the best and easiest way to identify dopamine drainers is by noticing activities that offer immediate pleasure but leave you feeling unmotivated and less focused afterward. So we've seen how to identify drainers. Now, how do we reset our dopamine system? Think of it as a detox for your brain. We need to reduce those quick hits of dopamine and give our brains time to recalibrate. And here are a few practical things you can start doing today for that. Number one, digital detox. And this doesn't mean throwing your phone into the ocean, but it does mean setting clear boundaries. The most effective way I found of doing it is by turning off notifications, banners, and all visual cues on your phone. This way I only check my phone intentionally and my screen time is reduced reduced a lot. Number 2, dopamine fasting. It's about avoiding quick pleasures for a set amount of time. So no phone scrolling, no snacks, no Netflix. This allows your brain to reset to a lower baseline, so it becomes more sensitive to the rewards that come from effort-based activities. Number 3, practice delayed gratification. Start by identifying what you want and what your values are. For example, if health is a priority for you, remind yourself that resisting junk food aligns with your value of wellness. Begin small by setting achievable targets, like allowing yourself to watch one episode of your favorite show only after completing a project. Practice mindfulness by pausing when you find yourself instinctively reaching for your phone during work hours. Take a moment to ask yourself if it aligns with your goals. And lastly, eliminate temptations as much as you can. For example, by avoiding having junk food in your cupboard if you struggle with snacking. Once you've reset your dopamine, it's all about building new habits that give you a steady flow of dopamine in a healthy way. Taking on tough challenges can actually boost your dopamine levels. When you push through something difficult, like completing a demanding project or hitting a good workout, your brain rewards you with a rush of sustainable dopamine. This feels great and makes you want to tackle more challenges in the future. Now, here are the best habits to build your dopamine. Number 1, exercise regularly. One of the best ways to build up your dopamine naturally is exercise. It might be tough to get started, like all good habits, I would say, but once you get moving, your brain starts releasing dopamine, and over time it helps build that crave for effort. So implement a habit of going at the gym or running or going for a workout class at least 2 times a week at the beginning. Number 2, deep work. Another tip is to focus on deep work sessions, those longer stretches of focus. It's tough at first, but once you start seeing progress, your brain starts rewarding you with dopamine and the feeling of accomplishment becomes addictive, but in a good way. And to do that, remove notifications, set a timer for 90 minutes and get going. Number 3, mindfulness and meditation. These practices help you reduce stress and bring your focus back to the present moment instead of constantly seeking the next dopamine hit. They also help reset your brain's baseline, making it easier to enjoy the process of working on long-term goals. Again, start by meditating 5 minutes a day and aim towards 20-minute session daily over time. So we've looked at how understanding our dopamine system can help us rewire our brains to actually crave challenging tasks like hitting the gym or finishing important projects, rather than distractions. How to reset our dopamine system, including identifying activities that drain our motivation, such as excessive phone, junk food, and techniques like digital detox, dopamine fasting, and practicing delayed gratification. We saw the importance of building sustainable habits that provide healthy dopamine boosts through regular exercise, deep work, and mindfulness. By resetting your dopamine system and cutting out quick pleasures and building better habits, you can actually rewire your brain to crave the things that lead to long-term success. It's not easy, but trust me, the payoff is huge. So if you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments what's one hard thing you're going to tackle today and one quick pleasure you will avoid. And of course, hit that subscribe button for more content on productivity, mindset, and living a meaningful life. See you next time. Take care.